Going live in 3. Only father I care about is the one I make proud. Only man I care about is the man I can't see. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is another urgent update. And this one, again, depending on how you look at this could very well be one of the most important stories of the day. That is because of the potential for a catastrophic event to come out of it. Now, many of you have followed different space events, especially in the last few years. You might watch, the SpaceX launches and things like that. Well, we pay attention to a couple other things here, especially anytime that China or Russia launch anything nefarious into space. And that is exactly what just happened. In fact, they're saying it's a mystery object in this piece, but it looks like it may be some sort of satellite. In fact, they even have a name for it, EMKA or EMKA. Now, that could be just like MKA, a previous satellite that has been was a satellite reconnaissance one a long time ago, but this one is specifically EMKA dash whatever number they put to it. So again, and I looked up electromagnetic. I was wondering, did they just put electromagnetic right in there? In Russian is electromagnetic something with a Russian sound on it. So I don't know if they straight up do, abbreviation like that in Russia, but one thing is for sure, the government believes it is something nefarious. Now, with all of the kind of satellite killer technology that has been talked about in the last month, and all of the events that are happening right now, the huge, massive gold, silver, and platinum buy, as if the people up at the very top just got a heads up about a huge war, I would be paying attention to all of this, especially this. Secretive Russian military satellite releases mystery object into space. A trio of secretive Russian satellites launched earlier this year has released a mysterious object into orbit. So again, this is satellites that were already up there and then just released something. Again, the three satellites designated Cosmos 2581, 2582, and 2583 launched a Suez 2.1 rocket from Plitz Cosmodrome early on February 2nd. Then the satellite's whole purpose is unknown, have displayed interesting behavior while in a near-polar orbit around 364 miles. It says in March, the satellites appeared to be conducting potential proximity operations or maneuvering close to other objects in space. It says an astrophysicist and spaceflight tracker. Russia has provided no details about the satellites and their mission. Many Cosmos missions are classified. The released object could be used for a number of objectives, including military experiments such as satellite inspection or target practice or testing technology for docking or formation flying. It may also be a specific payload or even the result of unintentional fragmentation, though this would usually result in numerous pieces of debris. They're saying just one solid chunk popped right out of a satellite. So again, I don't think that this is debris. I think this is exactly what it looks like. Something has been released. I think that, of course, there are a lot of the technologies. If you've been following that space, there's been a lot of actual science forums and things talking about what's possible now with these satellites. Not only the theories about them, but what is actually happening in some of these huge conferences where these small companies make these new kind of awesome things and try to sell them to the government. Well, a lot of those things in the last year have resulted all of these different companies coming up with ways to take out satellites out of the sky. Now, that's what we can see on our end of our U.S. government. We actually know that they are trying to take ours down. So, again, this is something to pay attention to. Now, before we move on, we're going to talk about more information about and surrounding this here in 2 seconds. But I do want to remind you, anything like this, I would highly recommend looking into protecting yourself. You want food, water, medicine, and then protection. As far as protection goes, many of our Fugel family have already gotten themselves protected against not only EMP strikes, electromagnetic pulse strikes, but also a Carrington-level event from the sun. If you saw that Myanmar earthquake that happened, the 7.7, that was a day after a massive solar coronal hole and a massive solar flare that nearly nicked us. Again, make sure to go over and check out this device. You can go to marfugelnews.com right now and do a free entry to win one. Again, that's five people will actually get one EMP shield of their choice, and then one lucky winner will actually get $1,000 towards the Grid Down store, where you could get an EMP shield protected Grid Down Bug Out XP. So go over and check it out. Please make sure to go over to the giveaway, because that is, again, something we worked out with the same company that's working with agencies like DHS, DOD, and the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas government. They are giving those away, and it is one of the best sales ever. So again, that not only helps our independent media, but it also helps you prepare. Now, let's bring my co-host/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So, and I'm going to take back the MCA part here, because I'm trying to verify that, because these articles change over time, and sometimes things get moved around or they update them. I don't know if they know the name of the stuff that was released. So again, let's just take that part out. But we do know that a mystery object was released into space. Do you want to talk about this next piece, which talks about U.S. satellites risk attack in a war with China?
Yeah, so General Bradley Chance Saltzman, the head of the U.S. Space Force, warned that U.S. satellites are going to face a significant risk of attack in a potential war with China. Now, this is coming because everybody in the DoD has been sort of focused on war with China. So he was speaking at the Space Foundation Symposium in Colorado Springs, and he highlighted that Beijing's growing space ambitions as an incredible threat, quote, an incredible threat. He said that the satellites would likely be the first targets in any conflict. He emphasized that China's advancements in counter-space weapons capable of disrupting and destroying satellites, which could cripple the U.S. military operations, which are heavily reliant on like space-based systems, whether it's GPS or communications. He also said the first thing that's going to happen, this is the quote, that's going to happen in a conflict is our space capabilities are going to be challenged. So yet again, we've got another person. Now, obviously, he's in charge, or, a general in the Space Force, so he's going to talk up his department, but reiterating the importance of space warfare and why they think China is going to attack. The first thing China is going to go after is the satellite network.
And they're giving a time frame here. It says by the mid to late 2020s. So mid would be 2025 right now, to late, 2028, 2029. We expect them to deploy systems high enough in power that they can physically damage satellite structures. China's military now regularly incorporates it in its exercises, radio frequency jammers against space-based communications, radars, and navigation systems. They also point to the Chinese army developing jammers to target a greater range of frequencies, including U.S. military protected, extremely high-frequency systems. So, and one of the pictures here, I just want to point this out. This is a container. Folding. This thing is crazy. The Space Force released this remote modular terminal. Remote meaning this thing can be remote. It can be brought other places. And it actually goes down and into this container thing, right? Think about China. If they're copying all of our stuff, you know that they've already done this. And again, think about all of the containers that China has possession of. Think about all of the countries in the world where they have their containers on site and even own or control parts of the ports in almost every country. That's because, of course, they are the ones manufacturing all of the junk that goes out to 99% of the world. So, yeah, think about that. They've talked a lot about how they will be able to challenge our systems to detect things like this. I wonder if that's going to play a part in it, because they haven't actually told us exactly how it works, but they have said that they essentially have invisible aircraft now that can get through all of our detection. And again, people are going to go, they're full of crap. Never underestimate your enemy, especially one with nearly as much money as you. The underdog is usually fighting pretty hard to be the top dog. And then, oddly enough, the same day, we're hearing news that Davos Forum founder Klaus is to step down as the chair of trustees. Dex, you've got this guy, but I think, isn't his family too? I mean, all of these guys have younger family that are kind of in almost a very similar position. Who would take Mr. Creepy's place here?
Yeah, I don't really know who would exactly take it, but look, he stepped down from running it, and that left him as the chair of the board, and now he's stepping down from the chair of the chair of the trustees. So now he's stepping down from that. So this is the second time we've reported this this step down. So this is sort of the official. He's out. It'll be cool. It'll be interesting to see who takes that place. But he's got members of that board, include the European Central Bank president, Christine Lagarde, IMF managing director, Kristalina Georgieva, Reliance Industries chair, managing director, Mukesh Ambani. I don't know any of these names. And then, of course, BlackRock, which I'm sure we all know, chief executive Larry Fink. And then, of course, Mark Benioff, which many of us probably know. He is the chief executive over at Salesforce. So that is the trustee board that is left at the moment.
Yeah, and this gentleman is the one. There's many clips of him essentially saying that they have people. I mean, I think he's even used the word infiltrated into every government and into every big company, and he is essentially saying like, we will take over. I can't do a good. I don't know why it sounded like RFK, but you guys get my point. He's got that unmistakable voice and accent, and he talks about this stuff, and it is just unbelievable. Same gentleman about 2 years ago said that it's very likely that we will have a cyber event, a cyber event that will make CV, the 2019 event, look like, Schmetz, right? I think that's what he would call it. But you guys get my point. This guy has said some really, really just sound bites that are unforgettable. And he has proven that this organization he just stepped down from, it is no joke. Now, as far as they said weeks after the organization promised an overhaul after an investigation into workplace discrimination. Now, that almost makes everybody that reads it go, oh, he was one of those, right? I think it's way deeper than that. I think it's because of something way different. But because you could also believe a guy like that, I'm sure when people hear him speak, they're like, ugh. He's got that villain vibe. So when people read like, oh, discrimination thing, I'm sure he does that too, or probably did that too. But they're talking about, it puts in your head, oh, there's, ladies in the office that are like, oh, I don't feel comfortable. That kind of thing. They're kind of implying that by saying this is an overhaul. He's stepping down after an overhaul, after an investigation into workplace discrimination, that people are being discriminated against. I'm sure people could also easily go, oh, that guy probably doesn't like certain types of people or something like that. That's the seed that this plants, and I don't know. I think that's not the only reason. This also comes after the tariffs, everything else that was going on. Maybe the people that are even above him are like, yeah, you failed here. You should have, hired the right assets to, get a better scope, I guess, right? But who knows what's going on there? And again, it is getting crazy. If you're not following our channel, then you need to, because there's a ton going on. Every 24 hours, we have an update on this on weekdays. And if there's big stuff, we do it on the weekends. So make sure to subscribe not only to this channel, but our other channel, Marfoogle TV, where we go in depth to all of the stuff from the previous 24 hours. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Iran. And this is thoroughly being planned. There's even evidence that countries are refusing to let us basically attack from their countries. So this is I don't want to jump the gun here, but it looks like this is about to happen. So make sure to join us for our next show. If you're in the chat, you'll be automatically ported over. You'll just be brought to the new show. But if you're watching the replay, I would not miss this one. There are really, really good stories that are going to connect to previous stories of this week. So you need to be there if you want to be up to date, especially if you are the matriarch or the patriarch of your family and you're trying to protect yourselves. Be over there in just a few minutes. We'll see you in just a second. Dex and I will see you in just a minute. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. See you in a sec. It's a man I can't see. Only father I care about is the one I make proud. Only man I care about is a man I can't see.